Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Milo Yiannopoulos claims Trump's assassination attempt in 2024 was fake, igniting backlash and infighting among MAGA supporters.
After intense public backlash, Lauderdale by the Sea scraps the Trump street signage plans, but he's not going away completely.
Nepal appoints its first ever transgender lawmaker, making historic progress. The lawmaker highlighted discrimination and aims to advance LGBTQ+ rights.
AI-generated Facebook posts spread fake anti-LGBTQ claims about allies like Cher and Pedro Pascal, fueling disinformation and concern among queer users.
Kansas revokes 1,700 driver's license under new law, pushing trans residents to flee for their safety, discrimination, and loss of rights.
All this important LGBTQ+ news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached more than 12 million people, and we are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Wednesday, March 18th. I hope you had a good St. Patrick's Day. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show. Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as NPR and PBS, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. Hotspots Happening Out is a proud beneficiary of the 2026 Florida AIDS Walk, standing strong by our healthcare pillar. If you're in Fort Lauderdale this Saturday, we invite you to join us at the AIDS Walk. Register with our team at FAW.LGBT.
In 2026, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 14,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television, news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voices as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Oh my God, I love this team today at this table. And let's begin by one of my besties, John Hayden. He's a journalist for 31 years. He now focuses on hyper-local reporting, covering LGBTQ+ issues, Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park. You can see all his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook, as well as in the New Pelican, in Out Click, in Out South Florida, and once again, right here at the table where he belongs at Queer News Tonight. So John, Bear Week, yeah, and Horse Meat Disco. You gotta explain that one to me for sure, all right? But it's taking over South Florida in a big way from March 31st through April 5th. Tell us what's happening out.
Yeah, well, I tell you, it is spring, and that means bears are coming out of hibernation to roam South Florida, and they hungry. Lauderdale Tropical Bear Week is March 31 through April 5th, and this iteration will have a mix of long-standing faves along with new events and entertainers. The VIP reception is followed by a welcome party at No Manners. Bear Cabaret has a new cast of performers. Nicole Hollowell, whom we all love because we fear her, but we love her too, hosts Bear Pop. And there's Bear Village, plenty of pool parties, and it all wraps up on a Sunday afternoon at the beach. One new event caught my eye, Horse Meat Disco. I am tragically unhip and had to have Bear Week organizer Chuck King explain it to me.
Then we're going to end the day with Horse Meat Disco, which is one of the biggest gay traveling iconic events around the world. So we're super excited to have the debut here in Fort Lauderdale at the park, Richardson Park, that is, on Saturday, April 4th.
So, okay, I've never heard of this disco, but just the name intrigues the hell out of me. You say they're
Yes.
known worldwide. Can you tell me more about them? Just for my own edification.
Sure. So they started in London, and they just came up with this quirky name, and it's basically celebrates the disco era in essence, with like updated remixes and so on. And they have a group of DJs, and they're really big name DJs, and they travel with them, and they travel in the United States, they travel around Europe. It's just this weird phenomenon that has occurred in the gay culture over the past decade. So we're real excited to have them here in Fort Lauderdale. It'll be the first time that they've played in Fort Lauderdale.
God, I love talking with Chuck about all his great events. Now you can go to Lauderdale, tropicalbear.com for more info, and you can see my full interview with Chuck at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and the Facebooks. And, this is a party that just evolves every year, is more fun every year. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Listen, I love anything that Chuck King does. He is just a mastermind. He has done these incredible week-long events in other cities around the country, and they are phenomenal. So him adding anything new to this year's is going to be spectacular, right? So I had to look up Horse Meat Disco. I'm sorry. I am now following you, Horse Meat Disco, okay? Because listen, your name is... We should talk about that. But it looks like you guys partay, and you're going to come and be with these incredible bears here in South Florida that know how to party as well. I mean, it gets no better. And then you mentioned Miss Nicole Hollowell hosting Bear Pop. I mean, She's a riot. That girl is so fun. Aside from being talented, she's a great actress also as well. You got to see her as Blanche when she does the Golden Girls thing.
Yeah.
They just did it at the Broward Center, and it was phenomenal. So anytime you get to see Nicole Hollowell on a stage, you're in for a treat because she doesn't do a lot of stage stuff like that because she's so busy doing her thing, Bear Village is always fun. I mean, like, it's a party, and it's like there's something to do for a whole week.
Yeah, there always is.
I was just getting the visual of roaming hungry bears. And that I'll never walk by that. Isn't there a TV dinner that's Hungry Bear?
Hungry Man.
Oh, Hungry Man. Okay.
It should be Hungry. It should be Hungry Bear, right? They should change that to Hungry Bear.
Do you identify as a bear?
I don't. I shave way too much. I just get a little itchy after 2 or 3. You want to feel?
I think I'm.
What is going on here? Should I leave?
But no, please stay. But the great thing is, though, you don't have to identify as a bear to come to this party.
No.
It is for everybody. It really is. You don't have to. And I know sometimes, when you see the ads, like, oh, they're in their leather and they're looking gruff and scary. This is the kindest community of all of our subcultures that we have, which is fantastic. So I am not a bear.
Do you identify with the horse meat label too?
I identify partially as horse.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Wow. Yes. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Bear Week and Horse Meat Disco from March 31st to April 5th. Look it up online. There's something for everyone, all right? Let's welcome back to the table my friend, anchor TriniDaddy. He's a violinist and pianist with the Miami City Ballet and is the program director for the Seminole Theater Players in Homestead. So, Trin, Beethoven on the Beach returns. I can't wait to hear about this. And it's coming back to Miami from March 21st through the 29th. Tell us what's happening out.
Well, Orchestra Miami brings back its beloved outdoor series, Beethoven on the Beach, from March 21st to March 29th, 2026, in case you forgot the year. Across 3 scenic South Florida venues, performances begin Saturday, March 21st at 6:30 p.m. at Gateway Park in Sunny Isles Beach, continue Sunday, March 22nd at 6 p.m. at Pinecrest Gardens, and conclude Sunday, March 29th at 7 p.m. at the Miami Beach Bandshell. The Gateway Park concert is free and open to all thanks to the support from the city of Sunny Isles Beach and Norman Edelcup. Thank you so much. Led by artistic director Elaine Rinaldi, Orchestra Miami's 36 musicians will perform Beethoven's Symphony No. 7 alongside works by Schumann and Rossini. Featured soloists, husband and wife duo Karen Lord Powell on violin and Brian Powell on bass, will present Bottesini's Grand Duo Concertante. Pack a blanket, bring friends, and enjoy world-class music under the stars. More info at orchestramiami.org. So I am always trying to promote the free events that are going on in Miami or South Florida. There are so many, and people are struggling. I even put together something for people who are just struggling for food insecurity, for any kind of services, haircuts that you need. But you can still give people culture in this wonderful South Florida community because there's so many free events.
Yeah.
All right. And if you go to the one that's at Gateway Park, you have these world-class musicians, the same musicians who are performing in the Miami City Ballet, in Florida Grand Opera, and all of these other top-notch artistic organizations all over South Florida. They're presenting free concerts, and we've got that support from our community. Thank you so much, Mr. Edelman, and for the city of Sunny Isles Beach, I believe is the title of it. But you can come out, bring your friends, and it's an outdoor on the beach kind of, picnic.
It doesn't get any better.
Exactly.
Than that. Like, what a fun time. Grab your friends and do it. And here's the thing, like a lot of these symphonies and all of these shows, when you go buy a ticket, it's like $80. $80, okay? And that's just getting you through the door. And it's worth it because, the music is extraordinary. These folks are super talented, right? But you get a chance to go to any one of these 3 locations and see it for free. Like, that's amazing. Like, that's just... I love this. And the Gateway Park is really, like he said, beautiful in Sunny Isles. The Pinecrest vicinity is amazing. And also the Miami Beach Bandshell. All this is just a beautiful, opportunity for you to go and get some culture, Can you hum the Symphony No. 7?
Dum, 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 dum. If you don't know what it is the Beethoven 7th. It is the most sinister second movement. And it's actually like one note that is like being played over and over like an ostinato pattern, and the chords are changing underneath. It's so menacing and sinister. Ooh. And then it goes into like queer joy. I'm going to call it queer joy.
I love that.
I'm going to be playing and I'm queer. So it's queer joy according to the last movement of it. But it's something like you would hear in Eyes Wide Shut. Like when something is going on.
Yes.
So it's got some sexy moments in it as well. So come out for free.
Yes. There you go. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at Beethoven on the Beach when it returns to Miami from March 21st through 29th.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host and television radio personality, and the host of Hotspot's Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, you're going to be at ArtsUnited this Sunday for the Tiny Gallery series. What is that?
Wait till you hear all about it. You're going to love it. All right. So at 2 p.m. on March 22nd, the purple goddess herself, Natasha Ricketts, steps into the spotlight for her solo cabaret debut at the ArtsUnited Tiny Gallery series. An intimate 1-hour concert inspired by the tiny desk format, John, right? Through music and a little storytelling, Natasha will be sharing songs from her past, present, and future. She does a mean gaga. If you've ever wanted to see the purple goddess in a more personal setting, then do not miss this cabaret performance. It's going to be incredible. She just had her show at Aquaplex on yesterday, and it was incredible. That woman has been here 2 years and has captivated my heart and soul, and many people here in South Florida as well. So you got to go out and see her for sure.
Yeah, and I love her. She is, I think the best word is eclectic. She is just high energy, but she can hit the somber song. She can bring it down and then bring it back up, and her personality will just give you whiplash. And I mean this in all the best ways. She is a force to be reckoned with. So that's going to be a great show. I don't know if the ArtsUnited gallery is too tiny to contain her.
But I love that. But I love that they're using it in that way, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I love that you're able to use a art gallery in a different way and make it like an intimate thing. You know, those little desk concerts are hysterical when you see them online, you know, and you're like, how did they get all these? So basically they get this little area, right, Trini, and a desk, and somebody will perform with all their singers, dancers, percussionists, whatever, like in that little space, all squished up.
Yeah, I've seen the Tiny Desk concert series before, so it must be like a pretty exclusive thing that, you know, tickets will be going fast if you want to be in that inner circle. I love the intimate setting. Like, I don't even go to concerts. Like, don't ask me to go to a Beyonce concert and stuff, because the tickets I can afford are going to be like way back there, and I'm just going to be looking at the Jumbotron the whole time, right? You know, like, I want to, when I go to a performance, I want to be close to the artist. I want to be able to hear them acoustically, even without a mic, you know? So it sounds like I've never seen the Purple Goddess before, but you both of you have seen her before.
I actually saw her perform in this space at a Christmas party. And she does, it's an intimate venue. I was joking before. It is a great place to go see her. Yes, absolutely. Go down and see this.
And you know, and you're so talented in your own right, Trini, right? You play instruments, you sing, blah blah blah, etc. You'd appreciate Natasha, because I mean, she puts her heart and soul into every single performance. Doesn't matter if it's at a small gallery or at a big setting. You know, she's still giving you a freaking show. You know?
I'm going.
You know,
unless it's during the Gateway Park concert.
Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Tiny Gallery concert with Faye and Natasha Ricketts, ArtsUnited, on March 22nd.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up politics. Milo Yiannopoulos claims Trump faked 2024 assassination attempt, sparking MAGA online debate. A controversial claim from Milo Yiannopoulos is stirring tensions within pro-Trump circles. The former MAGA provocateur alleged that Donald Trump faked the July 13th, 2024 assassination attempt on his life. The shooting, carried out by 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, a registered Republican, had drawn widespread condemnation. It also fueled conspiracy theories across political lines. You know, in a March 15th post on Twitter, influencer Sneeko wrote, quote, if the Trump assassination attempt was actually real, that N-word would be bringing it up every minute, end quote. Reposting, Yiannopoulos added, quote, I hate myself for thinking it, but dude, that shit wasn't real. There was no assassination attempt. It didn't happen. I'm sorry. It just didn't, end quote. According to Alternet, the remarks have triggered infighting among MAGA supporters online. If you wonder where you have heard his name before, he's the same person who got ostracized from Republican circles for making comments that were seemingly supporting child rape. Later, he renounced his homosexuality in 2021. In an interview with Tucker Carlson, he even attributed homosexuality to childhood trauma and criticized LGBTQ plus identity. Oh, Milo, sweetie, pick a struggle, baby, you know? When your own fan base starts side-eyeing you, that's not controversy, that's a collapse, baby, you know? Milo is out here yelling fake like it's a rebrand, but let's be real, this isn't about facts. It's about staying relevant. And baby, the louder you get, the more it's giving desperation to me. You know what I mean?
Look at me. Look at me. I can tweet and I've got something to say and you're going to pay attention to me. Yay! No, seriously, his name should be Milo Yiannopoulos. I mean, Jesus Christ. Shut the fuck up. How can we miss you if you won't go away?
Ever.
All right, so I understand at least this claim where it's coming from, because a lot of people feel like there's something a little off about that whole incident. Okay, the ear situation.
When he had the Tampax on his ear, like for a cut. Yeah.
You know, I personally do not believe that it was a bullet that grazed him. I think that there was a bullet, obviously, that went out because a man was killed.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But there was, you know, whatever debris was
People say it was
around.
the teleprompter. People say it was from the teleprompter that cracked and hit him.
It could have been that. It could have been a piece of wood from the lectern, just to have that little tiny bit of of a slit there to give a little bit of blood, you know, and then I think they did lie about the bullet. I don't have any proof of this, but they don't have any proof that it was the actual bullet either that they've ever put out there. But Milo Yiannopoulos is a dumpster fire. I think that there is something a little off with him. You know?
You don't say.
Yeah, I think that he does probably need some help. Maybe he is getting help, and I don't know if he necessarily meant to make this viral, but, you know, because he is a dumpster fire and people will bring him on their show to ask him questions, and then sometimes, you know, there are parts of the interview that will go viral on their own. So I don't know necessarily. I don't want to say that he's totally promoting all of this, but he does have some issues, and yeah, I wish him the best.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to make fun of people with mental illness and people who are addressing mental illness, but we're speculating he has mental illness. And even if you do have mental illness, you're not allowed to take your trauma and blame it on an entire community. So no, I'm not having it for you. You need to shut up and go away.
That part.
I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up politics. Donald Trump's name being removed from Grape Drive in Lauderdale by the sea. Signs, everywhere signs, yet no one's super happy. Last week, the small beach town agreed to a Republican-led plan in Tallahassee to name a stretch of commercial boulevard after the president. The 3-2 vote happened after a passionate debate that saw the commission chamber and the overflow area on the patio packed. Most who spoke were against it. Now, a few weeks ago, I reported that the sign co-naming Grape Drive with Donald Trump had been installed. I also pointed out that Grape is in a much bigger font, but I'm sure Trump and his minions, they're fine with that. So, what's changed? Does this mean we're going to have a Trump Drive and a Trump Boulevard intersection? No. The Grape sign will drop the Trump inscription altogether. And in fact, Trump's name won't adorn any street signs in Lauderdale by the sea. Instead, there's going to be this historical marker. This is a mock-up. This is about what it's going to look like. And it's won't even pop up on GPS. So like you're going to have to go looking for it to see it rather than it be on street signs that you absolutely have to look at. So why make the change? After the Grape vote back in September, citizens started a process to overturn the decision. Now it would take another legislative act to remove the marker. And given the political makeup of the state and their slavish devotion to Donald Trump, that is highly unlikely. So is everybody happy? No. But in this political climate, in this weird red state, a win is a win. And I say, take the win. It's kind of like the Ronald Reagan Turnpike. I believe there's one person I talked with said there are 18 markers along the whole way, which would be about one marker per county. And it's not, when you go onto the on-ramps or the exit, it doesn't say you are entering the Ronald Reagan Turnpike. No. It just says Florida's Turnpike. Yeah. So this is about what it's going to be. It's going to be a marker that you're really not going to notice, and it's not going to be on anyone's address or street. So given what's going on here, I'm kind of okay with it.
Well, you know, we were talking on Monday, John, if you remember, about like celebrating our victories, right? Yeah. Because we're constantly in this like constant getting this debacle of everything is negative and everything is against us, right? You know, we've got to take those little victories, right? These people in this beach town were like, F you, we're not going to have it. We're not going to take this, you know? I mean, usually people don't even fight for stuff like this, but Trump made them mad enough to say, no, I don't want them on my side.
That's the thrust of this story because, you know, we know the legislature and, you know, they're all in Trump's pocket, you know, in Florida right now.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But the fact that the people, when the people got wind of it, they spoke out. And the fact that it's moving, it's galvanizing people against him is the real story. Whether that marker is there or not, a marker can be removed. And he's not going to be in office for hopefully too much longer.
No.
So, you know, everything that he wants to put his name on, everybody sees what a crazy narcissist he is.
Yeah.
And I do believe that when these Epstein files fully come out at some point, that the stench of Donald Trump is going to be removed from pretty much everything in our public life. We just have to be patient with it. So it's not going to bother me as much whether that sign is there or not because we have bigger fish to fry and it's just a sign. But the real story is that the people who probably normally wouldn't have made such a ruckus about it,
Yeah.
actually did, you know?
Yeah, and they attended these meetings and they were like, hell no, not my street. I mean, I think that's beautiful. That's democracy. That's what we're fighting for.
You can't even get them to come out for, like, you know, the baseball field or whatever, but, you know, they came out for this.
You can't get them to come and vote. Hey, vote in November, okay? But they came out for this.
Yeah. Well, you know, and yeah, as long as you're going to bring that up, I'll say this is quite a contrast. And it was even noted from the dais during this debate or afterwards that like 100+ people were there, like 58, 60 people signed up to speak on this, right? About it was really not going to really affect you. You know what I mean? However, about a month ago, they had a town hall meeting to discuss their new fire safety provider. Who's going to be responding when you have a fire, when you've got someone choking, when you've got someone going into anaphylactic shock? And there were like 3 citizens there. And I think, you know, you guys rightly point out, we need to show up more than just these galvanizing issues. But that is a story for another day.
Yeah.
Today, baby, take your win.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, Lauderdale by the sea. Whoop, whoop.
I'm TriniDaddy, and let's queer up the worldview. Nepal makes history as it appoints the first ever transgender lawmaker in parliament. Nepal's LGBTQ+ community is celebrating a historic milestone as Bhumika Shrestha becomes the country's first transgender lawmaker. The appointment was confirmed on March 16th by the Election Commission of Nepal. Shrestha will serve as a proportional representation member of parliament from the Rastriya Swatantra Party, following the party's recent parliamentary success. Identifying as, quote, third gender, she represents a community legally recognized in Nepal since a landmark 2007 Supreme Court ruling on self-identification. This is a groundbreaking decision considering that though Nepal is often seen as a regional leader in LGBTQ+ rights, many in the community still face ongoing discrimination. Talking to the media, Bhumika said, quote, I am very excited, but also feel the responsibility on my shoulders. Our constitution has provisions for our community, but they have not translated to laws and policies. Our community expects me to raise our issues in parliament, end quote. Supporters celebrated the appointment by gathering at Blue Diamond Society headquarters in Kathmandu, offering flowers and symbolic gifts to mark the historic moment. Amazing! I love that in this part of the world, which is historically, you know, not very welcoming to the LGBTQ+ community, that Nepal has elected their first transgendered person.
Right.
And it reminds me of Sarah McBride here, because we think of ourselves as the first world. We're so advanced, you know, and we're, you know, kind of on par with Nepal as having a transgender leader in their government body, you know. So just like what Sarah's doing and being such a great representative, I can tell that Bhumika, I can just look at her picture and tell. All right, that woman is put together, those eyebrows, everything, you know? And the way that she speaks whenever she makes public comment about her community and just trying to represent them in a way that is not to be so in your face about like, no, we need special treatment. We're just regular people like you all are, you know, and Parliament has a different system where they have representation of different groups. So I'm so excited, and I hope that is a bellwether for the rest of the countries in that region to just acknowledge trans people that as regular people of their community that have struggles, and we're all one human family.
I am so excited for this story, in particular because of the part of the world where she comes from. It says a lot and rings true. Kind of like if the first, like Sarah McBride, the first trans congresswoman in our Congress, if she would have come from Alabama, I think that would have said a lot more than coming necessarily from Delaware. Just to put it in perspective. That said, I love that this woman is saying that she is going to fight for the community and stand up and fight for her rights, because comparatively, Sarah McBride has been okay. I mean, she votes with the Democratic caucus, but they're not really moving legislation through. And I was very disappointed with her early in this Congress because she didn't stand when they were putting the rules package together. She didn't stand up and say, you know, no, I'm going to use the bathroom for women. Like, she chose not to make it an issue, but it was the perfect opportunity for her to make it very personal on the floor of the U.S. Congress. So that disappointed me. So I'm excited to see what this woman can get done in Nepal.
Well, this is how you make history, folks. And Bhumika's a baddie. Okay?
Yes.
She's stepping into parliament. I mean, that is global proof that representation isn't optional. It's necessary, especially right now, you know? I mean, like, this makes me feel like Trini said, like, we're behind big time here in the U.S. Meanwhile, in the U.S., we're still arguing about bathrooms, you know what I mean? And it's like, nobody had an issue with the bathroom until there was, you know? But today we celebrate progress, and that's what that is.
Yes.
That's progress, you know? And she seems phenomenal, and obviously, like, this appointment is just it makes all the little girl things in me get really excited just because, you know.
And she has the perfect name for it, Bhumika.
Right?
Bhumika. It just rolls off the tongue. It's like, you know, go out and do something. You know,
Right?
Bhumika.
Like, what's her name? Bhumika. You know, oh my God, I need to go see Bhumika. You know, it's like, yeah, Faye Bhumika. Watch out. I'm just telling you. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up the USA view. AI fake posts target LGBTQ allies, spread false homophobia claims across Facebook feeds. An influx of AI-generated posts on Facebook is spreading false claims that major celebrities are homophobic, alarming LGBTQ plus users across the platform. The posts target well-known allies like Cher, Pink, and Pedro Pascal, using fabricated quotes and images to push disinformation. One viral example shows Cher beside Donald Trump, where she says, "Let's be honest, Donald Trump is a tough man. He can be brash, outspoken, and a little unapologetic. But in my lifetime, no one has fought harder for the heart and soul of America." That was the worst share ever. You know why?
It was.
Because this share is so bad too, all right? Some users quickly called the content fake, but others appeared convinced, amplifying the post further by sharing them. Another circulating claim alleges that Mick Jagger made anti-LGBTQ statements. Experts note these posts are part of coordinated disinformation, false content deliberately created to influence public opinion. Parent company Meta recently scaled back fact-checking efforts, raising concerns about rising anti-LGBTQ narratives online. Listen, if you're still with Facebook and you're still a part of Facebook, understand that Meta ain't going to do anything to help you against anything that's going on. Bullying, anti-Semite, anything you want to think about, they're going to allow it and let it go right now. But if Cher suddenly sounds like your racist uncle on Facebook, it's probably AI. Sometimes they have 3 arms. Look at it. Okay, look at it. These fake posts aren't just messy, they're dangerous. You know, disinformation spreads like wildfire. We learned that from Republicans and the Trump campaigns, you know? I mean, we don't need more of this. And this spreads, like they say, like 6 to 7 times faster than anything that's actually real.
I'll tell you why they're doing this, because I subscribe, as you know, to all the conservative websites and media, and there has been a meteoric shift in the past maybe month and a half, maybe since the Iran war started.
Okay.
Was that normally under all of these posts, they post now like every 7 hours. Fox News posts every like 2 hours. They're like the National Enquirer, Tabloid, and it's one story after the next. It's like TMZ. That's kind of the style that they're doing. And normally it would just be a bunch of MAGA Republicans just commenting, supporting. The tides have changed. The majority of the comments under all of these conservative stories are negative against Donald Trump.
Wow.
So I think they're trying to find other strategies to get people, on board with them by like, oh, look, these celebrities that are liberal, have now switched over to MAGA. Which
Cher,
I mean, that's
Trini,
just stupid.
Mick
like,
Jagger,
nobody's gonna think
but
that.
even Mick Jagger, like people that we know and love and have been around with for years and years, you still go, well, maybe,
And then you're not flagging it, as AI, which before they had to have some kind of, before, I don't know, that's the last election.
Yes.
They had to have something that said this is AI.
This is AI generated.
So I think they're going into meltdown mode.
Well, and which, I love it. I'm generally against cannibalism, except when Republicans are eating their own. And I just want to say, you like that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hammer.
Oh, you can hammer me. No, I want to, there is a lot of fake stuff out there. If you look at a post and go, oh, this can't be real. Well, one, it's probably not, but just Google the person involved. Google Cher. Google Mick Jagger, you know what I mean? And if it's not in their news feed, it means it's a fake post. And I would just like to clarify that on my Facebook and other social media accounts of me with Cher, those are real. They're real.
No, they are.
And that's also my dad in there, too. It's me, Cher, and Dad.
That is the best Cher impersonator I had ever seen in life. I thought that was Michael Goodman next to you. Now that I know it's the real Cher. Oh, damn.
I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up trans rights. Kansas revokes trans IDs, forcing residents to flee the state amid sweeping anti-trans laws. Some trans residents in Kansas are reportedly leaving the state after more than 1,700 driver's licenses were revoked under a sweeping new law. State officials issued letters ordering thousands to surrender their driver's licenses following the passage of a new law requiring access to public or restricting access to public bathrooms and locker rooms to be based on birth sex. The law also allows residents to file lawsuits against individuals which they believe are not conforming to the indicated gender in those spaces. The Kansas Division of Vehicles told affected residents that their licenses were immediately invalid and must be replaced with ones reflecting their birth sex. Those who continue driving risk additional penalties, fines up to $1,000, and maybe jail time. Trans-Kansan Jalen Alberg says she plans to leave the state rather than comply, telling NBC News, quote, "It's a continuation of the message that the legislature has been sending out for years now, that transgender people are not welcome in Florida." For the trans community, the legal challenges are ongoing, with civil rights groups arguing the law violates personal freedoms and dignity. Because of course it does. This is, and I've said this on this show before, I think with you here, Faye, is that this is the most vile way to make someone feel lesser than, because you can avoid the row of Baptist churches in your town. You can avoid, the racist grocery store with the Confederate flag out of it. But this is a government agency coming to your home with legal mail and saying you are not, you are less than. And that's what makes these particular laws completely, absolutely vile.
It's disgusting. And you said Florida by mistake, right? And it's Kansas, but that could be, you know what I mean? We're there also. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why I didn't even flinch when he said Florida.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's call this what it is. Government overreach with a side of freaking cruelty. That's basically what it is. Taking away IDs from trans people doesn't protect anyone. It just makes daily life harder and more dangerous for these people. You're literally not giving people the ability to go work, to drive legally. So you want them driving illegally so you can pull them over and then put them in jail. I mean, this is effed up 100%.
Exactly. The way that they're implementing this, forget that it's just a horribly immoral thing to do. But let's just say that you could find some moral grounds for this, right? The right thing then would be when your license renewal comes up, that you would have to go in anyways to get another license. But to say immediately, now you can't drive.
That's it.
Like, people have to go to work. They have children to support. Exactly. They have families. So, I mean, that in itself, I just can't even imagine how this would stand legally if this is challenged, because I don't know if it's been challenged yet.
Oh, it will be. Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just unnecessarily cruel to do that. But I think the larger issue is that they're doing this with IDs to somehow figure out how to make their votes invalid in the next election. Because we just saw just this month, 1,700, 2 or 3, 5, 10, doesn't swing an election. 1,700 can swing an election.
100%.
And Kansas is one of those states that it's normally red, but there's signs of it, like when the abortion bill came out, that, they voted, they kind of went a little bit more liberal with that. So it's like, maybe there's signs. I haven't seen the demographics on it yet, or the statistics, but like maybe Kansas is one of those states that might be voting blue. And so they're trying to find every way. And maybe if it works, or maybe it's not, and maybe they're testing. If it works there, let's try it in Florida. Let's try it in another. We can
try it in Texas. Yeah.
Exactly. We can try this. So I do think that the ID portion of it really has to do with elections in the midterms.
Wow. As a nonprofit LGBTQ media organization, we'd like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of our queer community. We'd also like to thank the generous support of our favorite pizza, Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza. Jets Jets Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ+ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into your headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, including John Hayden and TriniDaddy. We'll see you daily, like tomorrow at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ+ world, we wish you a good night.
Night.